Just been going through all plants on bench, having a quick look at what might need potting on, because something needs doing every other day, especially now it's starting to get a little bit warmer. As we're approaching May, the chance of frost is going to get less and less until we're at that ultimate time, which for us it's second week in May, and then we're not going to get any more frosts from then on. We're not quite there yet, but it is looming ever closer. So all these plants behind me, we constantly keep an eye on them, because the quicker we move them on, the quicker they grow, the bigger the plants get. But some seeds this year we aren't even sown at the moment, like these sunflowers. We always do quite a few sunflowers through season, and normally I'd sow these seeds in March, but because the weather has been so horrendous, I decided to leave it until now. Plus, these plants, once they've germinated, they grow really quickly, so there's not really any need to rush things like this in the exact same way we don't rush cucumbers. They're all very fast growing plants. But I thought today, since it's near the end of April, we'll get some popped in, and I'm just going to put some in this tray. That holds 20 plants, and it's basically a pack of pansies that I bought last year from one at local shops, and they had a really good deal on those. And it was either Own Bargains or B&M Bargains, I'm not sure which. But you could get 20 pansy or viola plants for £3.50, and they were good sized plants with flowers already on them. And at that price, you might as well buy a pack if you want to fill some containers or baskets in a hurry. Because I find that pansies especially are very slow to germinate and even slower to grow. So if you can get a jump on your flower display, pop down to one of those shops and get your centre pack, because they're selling them again this year. We always save the trays because they come in handy. So we don't want loads and loads of sunflowers. So I'm just going to sow 20 today. And this variety is called Giant Single. But we have done dwarf varieties in the past before. We did quite a few last year, and I believe they were called Sunspot. And they only grow to about 18 inches tall, but they also produce multiple flower heads. And at one point, one of these flowers had 5 sunflower heads, all growing on that one plant. This is a full size single one. So these can grow 7 feet or more. And I think last year when we grew some of these, we had some that were just over 10 feet tall. And also the flower heads were like that. So we're going to do some more of those. But first, we'll get some composting. And all my compost is always sieved for seed sowing. So we don't want big stones or lumps of wood in here that might hinder that plant as it's trying to push its way out of that compost. So we sieve it for that reason. Although when it comes to things like sunflowers, they are quite big seeds. But it never hurts to just give them an helping hand. So I'm just going to compact this down as well, because these seedlings are quite big when they come out. You're going to see pretty quick root growth, so we make sure we get plenty of compost in these cells. And then I'll just top it back off again and we can get those seeds in. So we'll get these seeds out and have a look at them. And that's basically what we've got. As I said, different sizes, but we've got enough there to get us quite a few sunflowers on go. And these are last year's seeds. Hopefully they're going to be viable, but if not, we've got plenty of time to buy a fresh pack and resow them. So what I'll do, because they're old seeds, is I'll just put one in the centre of each cell, and then if there's any left, I'll put another one in. At least that way we get rid of all these seeds in one go, and double the chance of germination as well. When we get to May, we need things to be germinating as fast as possible, because once they're up, they're going to grow really quick anyway. So not enough seeds to put 2 in every cell, but we have got 2 in around half of them. That'll do. But all I'm going to do with these seeds is just push them into that compost. About a centimetre deep or so. You don't have to go too deep with these. As long as we know them seeds are covered. That's all we need. Again, a very quick and easy job. And then I'm just going to roughly cover them over. And that's them done. So we'll just get a labelling. Another quick and easy job done. And we've got us sunflowers, aren't we now? Hopefully. But as I said, if the seeds aren't viable, we've got plenty of time to buy fresh ones and re-sow them. Something else I've been looking at that we've been growing in these little pots are these. That's romaine lettuce. And we just multi-sown quite a lot of seeds in there. And they've now come up to a point where this pot is getting quite dense with these plants. And we need to prick these out and move them on. Obviously, the longer we leave it, the more compact this is going to be, the more tangled those roots are going to get, which then in turn makes that job a little bit harder. So I think we'll get some of these out as well and put them into their own little cells. Lettuce grows quite quick anyway, so we'll be sowing fresh seeds all the way through season to get more and more of these little lettuce plants going. Quite recently we moved some other ones as well. There was the exact same size as these little seedlings, and these were only done a few days ago. But you can see what a massive difference it makes just by moving them on. They're now pretty good sized seedlings. They've got the true leaves and they're well on their way. And every plant in here looks really healthy, and they're little gem. So again, another nice little compact lettuce. Very similar to your romaine lettuce. But we've got 12 plants there on go. We've got a few salad containers in that container garden that's producing leaves for cut and come again salads. But I like to get in front with things like this, so we've got as much as we need every single day. So even though we've got those on go, the seeds we sown only a few days ago have now reached that point where they need to come out too. So those little seedlings I'll pop in one of these. They're not a bad size, but they're plenty big enough for seedlings of that size. And this seed tray holds 24 plants, so that's a very good start. And it's always handy to have some spare trays of the exact same size, because then we can just compact everything down in one go. So you can see exactly what I mean by these plants being very close together. So what we'd have to do in that situation is take out a clump of these plants. It'd be too difficult to try and take out one at a time. So we just have to carefully lift out a bunch. And then we'll separate those as we go. Also trying to get the biggest plants. And at least by doing it this way, we can leave a section untouched. We'll see if we've got enough in those to start with. And you can already see that these plants have got quite long roots on them. So we'll make sure we've got a good sized hole for these little plants to go in. And I have pre-moistened this compost as well. That's going to stop it falling in as you're making your holes. So what we'll do is we'll try and get the biggest plants out of these. As I said, they're not huge plants, but they're big enough to be moved. We just need to carefully separate them off keeping some root system at the same time. Any that I come across are really tiny, I'll just disregard, because we have got plenty to go at. Once you've loosened up these plants in these containers, it's quite easy. Take one out without damaging it. So that's all we're going to need for today. And then it's very simple to just push those in. Bury them right down to that leaf. And then just firm them in round outside. That's all done. So that's a bit more done today. 20 romaine lettuces, all potted on into their own individual little cells. Plus we've got all those little gem lettuces on way as well. Plus we've also got 20 sunflowers pending. We'll pop a label in. And if you are doing salads this year, sow fresh seeds every 2 weeks. And then you'll never run out of fresh homegrown salad from now right till end of season. Apart from those couple of jobs that we've done, I know there's lots more to do. Over this coming weekend, we'll take a look at some more of these plants, what stage they're at, and whether we need to move them either into the first individual containers or on again into a larger container, because they're starting to get a bit big for the ones that they're in at the moment. But that's the job for the weekend. Enjoy your weekend, enjoy your bank holiday as well. And if you're interested in seeing what we're going to be doing over this coming weekend, please hit that subscribe button and press that notifications bell. And we look forward to seeing you then. Take care.